Hello and welcome to my video today. This is going to be an introductory video for the Fisker Ocean. If you're a new owner or someone that's interested in purchasing the Fisker Ocean and wants to know a little bit more about it before they make that decision, this is the video for you. So I'm going to be covering how to access the car, how to drive the car, and other important things. So let's get started. In order to access the Fisker Ocean, you could use one of two ways. You can use a key fob or an NFC card. I'm going to show the NFC card first. On the door handle, and only the driver's door handle, you can place the key card on the handle and the car will lock. If you want to unlock, just do the same thing. You could also use the key fob in the same way as the NFC card. You could place the key fob on the door handle, it will lock. Place it on again, it will unlock. There are also buttons on the key fob for various functions. There's the lock button, the unlock button, and these are good for about 20 to 30 feet distance from the car and closer. The other major thing that you can control with the key fob is the lift gate. So if I press the lift gate button for about 3 seconds, it will open up. If I press it again for about 3 seconds, it closes. So that's most of the functions for the key fob and the NFC card. Let's go inside the car and I'll show you other functions and show you how to get all the settings and how to drive the car. Before we get into the car, I'm going to show you quick info on the door. There's a panel here of buttons. We have the lock and unlock button. We have the controls for the rear windows, front windows. We have the left and right side mirrors that you can adjust with this button here. Then we have the lockout switch for the other windows. And we have the fold side mirrors button. Also further down, we have the lift gate button right down here. You need to hold that for about 3 seconds or so to open or close the lift gate. Obviously the door handle, when the car is locked, you pull it twice to open the door. And there's the intro screen that we see when the car starts. You need to press the brake pedal to wake up the car. I also recommend putting the seatbelt on. Otherwise, the car will not disengage the parking brake, which is down here. So if you just need to move it real quickly, don't have your seatbelt on, just press this button here and the parking brake will turn off. Otherwise, it will automatically turn off with the seatbelt on when you change gears. While we're in this area, let me show you the buttons. We have the light control button. Right now is auto, so auto control for the headlights, which is what I usually leave it on. If you press it to this, it's headlights forced on. We have the parking lights forced on there, and then all lights off. We also have a fog light button here. So I will leave it on auto. Some information on the driver's screen that we see right here. We have our speedometer in the center. We have a bunch of icons on the bottom that are called telltales that let you know what's going on with the car. Either it's an error or just information. On this side, we have the gear, which is park. We have the miles remaining. We have the current status for the headlights. We have the drive mode is right now for Earth. Let me turn the brightness down so you can see that. So we have the drive mode as Earth. The drive mode is this button right here. I recommend keeping it on Fun mode, which is one press of the button, and that will be all-wheel drive for the Ultra, Extreme, and 1 models. And if you're on the highway, I would recommend changing it to Earth mode. So Fun mode for everyday driving, and Earth mode, which is most efficient for the highway if you need to get the most miles out of the vehicle. We have the ready button here. That's when you press your foot on the brake. We also have some information. We have the time and date on the right side of the screen. Let me show you the other things that we have right here. We have the left stalk, which controls the turn signals and also the wipers. So you can press this for instant wipe, and then you can have auto wiping is the first 2 buttons here. So auto wipe slow, auto wipe fast, and then forced mode, slow, forced fast. I usually leave it on the automatic slow. And then on this side, we have the drive gear stalk, and the button at the end is for parking. So you press that to park. You can pull it up a full amount. That puts it in reverse. If I do a half turn, it goes into neutral. And if I do another full turn down, it's in drive. So you can, if I go back into park, so you can half pull up, or you can half pull down to go into neutral. So if you want to go into reverse, a full up. And if you want to go into drive, it's pressing it fully down. Then press the end, which is park. Also, if you happen to open your door, it will also put the car in park for safety. So as I mentioned, the door controls right down here adjust your mirrors so that they work for you. There's also a rear view mirror here, which is right now in regular mirror mode. Or if you pull on the lever here, it goes into digital mode, which is using a camera on the top of the lift gate. There's also a backup camera if you go into reverse. So you got a camera there, and you got a camera here. So of course, this is a more wide angle camera, and there's a bunch of different things you can go into with that. But I have another video that I can link to show you all the different changes that you need, that you can make to these settings. So just a quick overview, you have your camera controls up here. We have the navigation, and we have HVAC controls and music. And this is your, basically your standard screen that you see when you start the car, but you can go into other modes such as the navigation, music, your phone. You can go into charging. Another thing I'm going to talk about is charging. So I recommend that you charge the car to 80% on a daily basis if you have the NCM battery, which is in the Ultra, Extreme, and 1. It doesn't like to be charged to 100%. I only charge to 100% if I'm going on trips. So I recommend just a daily charge to 80% is fine. And also, you don't want to drive the car below 10 or 20%. That's not good for it either. And you especially don't want to park the car and leave it for a long time under 10%. Not good at all. For the Sport trim that has the LFP battery, you can charge it up to 100% all the time, not a problem. So that allows you to change the settings. I'll have a more deep dive video on charging that I can link to, but suffice to say, you're limited on your AC charging to 32 amps, but you can go down to 8 amps if needed. If you have not as much of an amperage connection, for example, a 120 volt outlet, you're going to only be limited to around 8 amps or so. So as I mentioned, you can change the percent for the state of charge right there. There's also a trip screen that keeps track of your information. So if you want to see the odometer, this is where it's located under charging trips. I have a total 18,000 miles right now. Gives my efficiency and total energy used. You have current trips and info since last charge, and you also have a trip A that you can reset when you need to. Another quick thing to discuss is the HVAC system. If you want, I have AC right now. I'm going to turn that off because I don't need it. But you have all the basic controls here for your AC. For the vents, you can control the direction of vents. We have heated seats front and rear. And also down below, we have a button island here, and you can control the temperatures by pressing up and down, either on this side or for the passenger on that side. We have fan speed here. You also have a shortcut. If you just want to turn off everything, just press the LCD. Then we have the defrost for the front window and rear window. We have California mode, which isn't really effective right now, but you can press that button for the screen to go horizontal. And we also have volume control for the audio system. It's actually very high. I'll turn that down. Now let's go to the steering wheel and get some more information here. So I was talking about volume control. You have a duplicate volume control right here. And then you have control over next track, previous track. You can answer your phone. This is for the voice assistant, which is not currently working on the vehicle. On the right side, we have the mode, which I just showed briefly. You can press this to switch to the different drive modes. So you have Earth, Fun, and Hyper. Up here, we have the cruise control button. So you press that twice to start. And then let's go up above and look at what we have up here. So we have a lot of the light controls. We have the controls for the sunroof right here, California mode here, and the rear window here, the liftgate window. And up here, we have a button for the hazard lights. So when starting the car, all you need to do is have the key fob on you, and you can usually just start the car. You can press the brake and it will start up. However, there are circumstances where if the battery is low and the car wants to confirm, you can move the key fob to this location right here. There's a NFC sensor, and then the car will accept it, and then you can just put it back in your pocket. Also, if you're driving the car with the NFC card and don't have a key fob, you will press this right here on that sensor to start the car. Then you can put it back in your pocket. You don't really need to have it out. It doesn't need to be anywhere else in the car. We also have cup holders here. We have a little spot where you can put the key fob, but I put a garage door opener in here, which I think is handy to have. We have storage under here, and we have wireless charging in this area here for phones. Also, when you have the car parked and locked, the outside door handles are not open. If you like to have somebody get in the car, you need to press the unlock button, and that will extend all 4 of the door handles and they can get in the car. Also, if you ever get odd errors on the car that cause problems, a lot of times they will disappear the next time you drive the car, or you can do one of 2 different types of resets. You can press the inner buttons on the car for about 30 seconds or so, and the car will basically reboot. Both these screens will turn black as it restarts, and then it usually resets any issues that you may have. There's another kind of restart called a deep sleep, where you would open up the charge port and you would lock the car, and there's a blue light in the charge port. When the blue light turns off, the car is asleep. Then you can go unlock the car, and it's basically called the deep sleep reset. So it's another way of basically rebooting the car. Oh, one other thing I want to show you is in the settings. There's lots of things you can configure in settings, but the most important, I think, that you need to set is either the under driving, the regen braking. If you're used to EVs and like regen braking, you can leave it on high. I recommend that for any local and city driving, or medium if you feel that it's too strong. I also recommend using low regen for when doing highway trips, long distance trips, and you'd like to just coast when you let off the accelerator. So that's something important. Unfortunately, this is not saved. You have to change these every time you start the car. Another important thing to do is going into the energy mode for standby time. This controls how long it takes the car basically for the center screen to go asleep. I find the best setting is 10 minutes. It's the optimum setting to use that balances the number of bugs that you have in the car that can occur if the car doesn't reboot often enough, with also vampire losses. If you keep this on 24 hours, I find the vampire losses due to the 12-volt battery being used is too high. If you keep it on 10 minutes or 30 seconds, that greatly diminishes vampire losses, especially with the latest updates of 2.2. I find that there's very little to no vampire losses when you have it on the 10-minute mode. 30-second mode I find is too short. So if you're driving the car, get out within 10 minutes, get back in the car, it operates as normal. However, over 10 minutes, the car will go to sleep and it has to do that reboot process where the whole screen turns on again. You have to wait roughly a minute or two for that to fully reboot. It's a little bit of an inconvenience, but I feel it's worth it to have a more solid system and less losses in the vehicle. Of course, there's lots of other things you can do for the car. As far as the mirrors go, you can turn on auto folding on and off. Let's see. I recommend, first of all, adjusting the steering wheel. If you press this, so you're able to control the steering wheel with the height of it. So if you press up or press down, it affects the height. If you go left and right, it goes in and out. So get that to the right setting that you're comfortable with driving. Unfortunately, currently there are profiles for the car, but they don't save all the settings for the steering wheel and mirrors. That may be coming as a future update. We shall see. But for the time being, you need to reset the steering wheel and mirrors and seat for each driver. Of course, there's plenty of other things you can adjust to your liking. All right, so that's everything I wanted to cover today. This is an introduction for new owners and people that are interested in purchasing the Fisker Ocean, want to know a little bit more about it before they make that decision. This shows you how to get in the car, how to operate the key fob and NFC cards, how to get inside and make changes so that you are comfortable with the car, change the mirrors, the seats, the steering wheel, and also some basic recommended settings that I use in my vehicle that I've learned after having this car for 19 months. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. I'm going to do a follow-up video that's going to have 25 suggested things that you should do with your new Fisker Ocean. 10 of those are going to be definite things that I recommend doing, and 15 of them are nice to have. So look forward to that video. If you're a new owner too, it's super helpful. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.